Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 208 of our Your Next Level. Thank you, John, for the thumbs up. For our Your Next Level Mastermind, our topic for today is what would you change if you started today? Okay, what would you change if you started today? For those who are watching this particular replay on YouTube, and those who are here have heard me say this many, many times. But this is addressed to those people who are watching the replay. I want you to reach out to these people. I want you to talk to them. I want you to sit and actually talk to these people about your circumstances, whether they be in the media with Dr. Chris or whether they're in the wellness areas, and there's a whole lot of people in this call with Kristine and Dr. Annika, or whether they're with Vangelis and the AI, or marketing with Jeff Veale and John. Whatever, it doesn't matter what your area is. The point is for you to reach out to these people and make yourself known to them, but more important, get them to open doors of opportunity for you that you never even thought existed. And they have connections that you don't even know about. So please use this opportunity and don't miss the opportunity to get in contact with these particular people. All right. Without any further ado, I'm now going to get them to introduce themselves to each other. And as always, well, nearly always, 99% of the time anyway, John Allen was first here. He got knocked off his perch a few times in the last couple of weeks, but today he arrived first. Hello. Yvonne, who's Kerry Ann Roper? You got me confused.
Good morning, everyone. I'm about to change that.
Serious.
I normally change it before I join. I can't see anything.
That's okay. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Yvonne. Okay, John, we'll start with you, followed by Dr. Chris.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, no matter where you are in this big, bad world. I'm John D. Allen, Allen Small Business Coaching. If there is a way that you could fall in love with your prospect's problem, not your solution or program, you'd want to know about it, wouldn't you? That's what I teach. How to fall in love with your prospect's problem, not your solution or program, because they don't care about your solution or program. They want to know, can you solve my problem? So with being the trust-based coach, what I teach people is how to build trust in just one call so that your prospects want to deal with you and keep coming back. Does that mean they'll sign up right away? No, not necessarily. But it does mean that they'll trust you enough to want to continue talking with you. So if you want to know more, my contact is in the chat. Reach out. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you very much, John. Very much indeed. Dr. Chris, followed by Dr.
Surrounded by doctors. Take 2 aspirin, come back and see me tomorrow. My name is Dr. Chris Williams, Arts Media Consultants. I help business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and other professionals who loathe presenting get to love it and not feel like they come across as a complete dick on Zoom and video. My aim is to get 50 executives in 50 weeks, comfortable, confident, and credible on camera. Dr. Chris Williams, Arts Media Consultants.
Well done. Thank you, Chris. I love the brevity. Dr. Chris, I'm ready for my medicine, followed by Daniel. Sorry, Dr. Annika, followed by Daniel.
Hi, I'm Dr. Annika Sorensen from Sweden, a family practitioner, now stress mentor. And you know, those C-suite leaders that have too much on their plate and they are overwhelmed and scared and they think they do bad and they don't want that to be shown and they are too scared to be seen as weak. So what I do is that I help these leaders to get back on track again through mentoring, speaking, workshops, so that they can be that great leader they always dreamed about to be and increase the money in the business.
Thank you, Dr. Annika, very much indeed. Daniel, followed by Kristine.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Kobryner from London. I'm a high-energy life and business coach and an international motivational speaker. I help small business owners and entrepreneurs who feel stuck, who feel a little lost, to gain their power back and regain clarity, confidence, and motivation to become fully unstoppable in their lives.
Good. Unstoppable. I like that. Thank you, Daniel, very much indeed. Kristine Best, followed by Vangelis.
Thank you, Peter. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. I'm Kristine Best. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a wellness strategist. My inspirational songs reinforce the messages that I have in my wellness programs. So people generally don't like the thought of getting old. They think it's all about aches and pains and walking canes. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. Because if you look after your body and do the right things for it, and you learn from those who know how to keep you well, you will live a healthy, active, mentally well life. So I'm your go-to wellness strategist. Have a chat with me and let's see if we can work together to help you get where you want to be in the future.
Thank you, Kristine. I love the visibility of the aches and pains and walking canes. Woo.
Conjures up a picture, doesn't it?
It does. I've got my cane over in the corner. So thank you. Vangelis, over to you, followed by Yvonne.
Hello, my name is Vangelis, and I'm out here in Costa Rica at the moment. I have worked in the world of business and technology for many, many decades and worked with many, many technologies. And one of the biggest things that is around today is artificial intelligence. And many people think it's a new thing, but actually anything that has to do with computers, even a TI calculator back in the 60s, is artificial intelligence. And the reason people call me is because one of the biggest challenges many companies have is interdepartmental communication. Even though they have all these technologies already around in-house and working, a lot of times many companies don't have the ability to see that artificial intelligence is not a product, it's not an application. It's basically an assembly of all these different technologies and the people. And so what I do is I work with the people and the technologies to help companies integrate artificial intelligence and then help them improve whatever key performance indicators or whatever goals they have in their companies. Thank you.
Thank you. Vangelis. When you mentioned TI, are you talking about Texas Instruments?
Yes.
Okay. I had one of those ones. It was too complicated for me. All right. Yvonne Jones, followed by, nice to see you, Bill. Yvonne Jones, followed by Mary Stanley.
Hello, everyone. I am Yvonne A. Jones, located in South Florida right now, heading back to Jamaica next week, or this weekend, actually. You know how small business owners and entrepreneurs, they spend a lot of focus and time and money attracting new clients, but they forget to nurture the relationship with the ones they currently have so that they remain loyal and they're able to retain them for a long period of time. For over 16 years, that has been my focus in helping businesses to grow by retaining their clients and building strong relationships. I'll keep it at just that for today. There's so much more we could talk about. But again, my mantra is focus on relationships. The money will follow. And this is more than a mantra because it does work. I am Yvonne A. Jones. And again, I look forward to seeing all of you in 2 weeks because I'll not be here next week or the following week. Sorry, Peter. I should tell you in private, but I just say it to my peers.
I've got my tissues here. That's okay. Yeah. We'll miss you, darling. We'll miss you.
Thank you. I miss you guys too. I'll be back.
Mary, thank you. I know you will. You're gorgeous. Mary, followed by Bill.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So I run Supportive Minds and I teach you how to understand neurodiversity. It's about, they're not broken, it's not a disease, it's not something that needs to be cured. It's their brains are literally wired differently. And when you understand how their brains are wired, you can give them the world and help them to create that safe environment so that they can speak and can be the best that they want to be, and understanding that all children are monsters, psychopaths, and embarrass their kids, parents in public, not just special children. And understanding all of that helps you understand them in a way that encourages that great relationship. Thursday and Friday, it is Neurodiversity Week. And so we are honoring and celebrating all types of forms of neurodiversity. I'm holding 2 seminars, and I'll put the information in the chat on how to understand what neurodiversity is and how the wiring is changing and understanding the difference, and tips and tricks on how to overcome certain obstacles.
Thank you, Mary. And I am so pleased you said that. They're not broken, are they? Their brains are just simply wired differently. Right. If people had that mindset, there would be a whole different way of looking at things. So thank you so much for saying that. That is very powerful and very, very, very true. Well done. Okay, Bill Pickett, followed by Jeff Veale.
Good day, everybody. My name is Bill Pickard, and basically I help solopreneurs and coaches be able to increase and attract engagement to their content. And I actually have a system where I learn how to attract your specific avatar, whatever it may be for your niche, and then take them on a tour, basically, of your whole platform so that you work them from creating content to influencing them, nurturing them, and then eventually converting them into paying, buying customers.
Bill, just for a bit of clarity for those who are watching the replay, you mentioned the word avatar. Could you explain what that is?
Well, that's your ideal client.
That's all I need to know.
Right.
That's what they need to know. Their ideal client, right? Thank you.
Right.
Well done. Okay. Jeff Veale, followed by Brian K. McNeil.
Everybody, my name is Jeff Veale, the business guru. I'm an Australian, based in Manila, in the Philippines. Been here for some 13 years. What I do digital marketing in a big way, and we try and help small business. We try and make a small business into a big business. In fact, if you do what we ask you to do and work with us together, we can pretty much double your business in the first 90 days. But you've got to take action and you've got to do the work. And that's what it's all about, it's doing the work. And Bill, one for you, don't talk butterfly language to a caterpillar. That's one you can all save up, guys. You got to come down to that common denominator. We all know too much. We've got to come down to our client's level. But thanks very much for the opportunity, Peter.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I love the caterpillar bit. That's good. Well done and good advice. All right, Brian K. McNeil.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian K. McNeil, and I am the Sales Confidence Coach. I'm also the world's recognized authority on selling services. You know, there are so many amazing entrepreneurs and amazing coaches and amazing people that offer things that genuinely do help other people. But a lot of these people that offer services that help, a lot of them do not earn the money that they could or that they should. And very often the reason why they don't earn that money is they simply do not know how to sell it well. And what I do is actually teach them what to say and do so they can sell themselves and their services in a way that feels authentic for them and overcomes this major hurdle they have of feeling salesy. And I do that through my coaching, through my workshops, through my talks from a platform, through my groups, or through my books. I've actually published 7 of them. But Brian K. McNeil, the Sales Confident Coach.
You know, Brian, I've been practicing to say one word the way you do it, and I can't do it. You say money. That is, to me again. Come on, say it to me.
Money.
Again.
Money.
Money.
Oh my goodness.
Money.
Money. Think of it as
Money.
MAUNN or M. I don't know. People have tried to spell it. So
money. You got to get money. Okay, right. I got it. Thank you, Brian. Our apologies from Mark Engstar, Ingborg, and Pat Dreyer. Those 3 in particular. Okay, our topic, as you've got, what would you change if you started today? And to help you, just to give you some things to keep you going, and I know you don't need any thought starters because you're a pretty bright crew. And please, I'll take you by the way that your hands are raised. I'm thinking about this. If you restarted, would you use the same business model? Would you charge more or would you charge less? What would be one mistake that you made that you never want to make again, for example? Would you have the same target audience as you've got now? What has been a complete waste of time for you and you never want to do it again? Would you offer the same services and the same products? Or did you do something different? Did you rely too much on referrals or not? Should you have outsourced things more than you did before? Or should you have outsourced anything? And what would you prioritize first? There's some thoughts I just had on this particular topic to get you going, but I know you don't need it because you're a bright crew. But for those who are watching the replay, I hope you took those on board as well. Brian, you were first cab off rank, so over to you, my man.
This is an outstanding question, and I think this question should be asked at least annually to all entrepreneurs, once a year. But I wrote it down. I'm going to be very fast with it. 4 quick things. Number 1, if I had to do over again, I would build through YouTube. Instead of just word of mouth, I would build through YouTube, number 1. Number 2 is create products from the beginning. I've been in business for myself since 96. And it took me a long time to create products. I would create products much earlier than I started now, particularly less expensive products. So they don't have to choose between buy or not buy. They can choose to buy this or buy that. I would start writing earlier. I didn't publish my first work until 2016, and I would partner sooner than I did. But definitely build through YouTube. If I had to do over again, I would have started building through YouTube, create products from the beginning, things that they could take away, particularly less expensive, start writing earlier and partner sooner. That's what I have. If I had to do over again, that's what I would do. And this question is such an amazing question, Peter, because it's basically a confession. So the answers are confessions. Okay.
I wish you hadn't said that. But it's true. It's true. Mary, thank you, Brian. Mary.
If I would have started today instead of 8 years ago, would have been 1, I wouldn't have had the scripts, taken all the marketing classes and sat the way you're supposed to sit, look the way you're supposed to look, use all the marketing, how to sell your business, how to talk about what you're doing, making sure you're saying the right things, and threw all that out the window and just talked. I live the world I work in. I created this myself, doing things that no one ever did before. And if I would have just expressed that and talked an experience of my life and my kids, other clients, I'd have been so much farther. No, the other big thing is really pushing the live talk radio I do on the side that explains a lot of other things that I do in the process, but bringing in that whole different dynamic. Because when I first started, I struggled to even talk because I was so concerned about camera angles and lighting and, you know, hair, makeup, clothes, and, you know, all the other things in between. Now just go with the flow. It's a lot more fun.
Good. Thank you, Mary, very much. Okay. Dr. Annika.
Well, I can agree with a lot of what Mary said in the beginning there to not do all those courses and all those things. So my thing was not to go on all those shining objects. I came from a tax-paid system where I had my salary and I had to learn everything from start. And when I was fairly old to start with, so it was all new, and all the technique and all that stuff. So I've been on some of those shining objects. And but on the other hand, I realized I have had so much fun. I've done things that maybe didn't lead to any business, but it gave me friends, and it's been fun. And I also am. I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't done what I had done on the road up to here. So I don't look at life as I have to regret what I didn't do, because there are tons of you could have gone this way, that way, or that way, and you will never know where you would have been. Now I'm here, and I have had a good life, and I'm happy with that. So I think that's my 2 cents here.
That was 10 cents. That was good. Thank you, Dr. Well done.
10 cents.
By the way, hand up those who are guilty as charged of buying shiny objects that they never used. I'm one of them.
Buying what?
Not many.
What did you say?
Have you ever bought a shiny object that you've never used? Okay.
Yeah, I think we all have.
Quote John Allen, I don't want to misquote him, but to quote John Allen, if your hand's not raised, then what else do you lie about?
Mine was raised. It's gone now.
Anyway, good to see you, Brenda. Nice to see you. We'll come back to you in a minute, all right? Thank you very much indeed. Yvonne, over to you. What would you change if you started it today?
Oh my goodness. I think the 3 persons who have spoken already share some of what I would have changed. But on the practical side, number 1, I didn't realize I was a perfectionist until I started my online business. And I knew when I worked in corporate Jamaica, where I started in banking all the way coming to the United States, I knew I gave 110% to any job. This is why I got the accolades, the promotions, what have you. But I didn't have a name for it. I didn't realize I was a closet perfectionist. And so for me, Brian mentioned about creating products. I created tons because I spent a lot on coaches. My family has no idea how much I spent. And I created products, but I never released them because I felt they were not that I wasn't good enough, but I felt they were not good enough. Yet privately, I was helping people for free who made more money than I did because of the teaching that I gave them, that I spent time I spent with them unpaid. But practically, other than that, I would have started with a marketing plan with who my ideal client is, what problem they have, how can I help them, how do I help them to solve that problem? And then I would have had a clear message. Looking back, my message was diluted. It was all over the place. So nobody really knew what I stood for and what I would, so that's critical for everyone who is listening. If you're going to be in business, you may not know who your ideal client is, but at least know what you can do, what you can bring to the market, and then go to where those people are so that you can bring your knowledge to them to help them. They become aware of you, create that awareness. So There is more I could say, but I think most of us share commonalities, and I've heard the other persons who spoke before me. There are things that I would have done differently, just as they would have. Thank you, Peter.
Wow. Yvonne, when you mentioned, what do you call it? A closet perfectionist, right?
Yes.
About 4 days ago, I found 74 videos that I had created about personal development, right? Now, they sure wouldn't pass your test, Dr. Chris, because they're bloody shockers when it comes to quality of video. I know that. So I'm hesitant about even putting them out there because of that one fact. So I'm thinking about redoing them again, because when I looked at them, I thought, this is better than I could do now. I mean, so I'm hearing what you said, that you didn't feel that they were good enough. Well, you know what? Maybe they darn well were good enough, and we were underselling ourselves. So you hit me right between the eyes. Well done, Yvonne. Thank you. Thank you. I can really resonate with you for that. Kristine.
Yes. My take is a little different in that I wouldn't change anything. And people are going to think, you're crazy. But the reason for that is that when I embarked on this part of my life, this chapter of my life, I had no idea what I was doing, really. I didn't know how far I was going to go. It was something that was on my heart to do. And I had so much to learn. Not just about the music industry. I already knew about the wellness industry, but I had a lot to learn about the music industry. And I don't think I'd change anything because I learnt those things at the right time, and I learnt things about myself that helped me develop at the right rate. You know what I mean? It's that all those things I learned were valuable, and some of them were hard lessons. And a lot of people would be thinking, oh, well, I'd like to have cut that corner. But you know what? They're very memorable lessons that you can share with other people, and that I remember to keep me humble, to keep me grounded, to remind myself of those lessons. And not ever repeat them. And so life has lots of meaning if you want to take it on board. And so then when the wellness door opened through me being in the music industry, it was weird, but it brought me full circle back to my music. And of course, I knew enough about that industry to embark on that journey. And I had the concepts and the goals from my past that I knew I could now do. So all these lessons, and there were still lessons to learn on the way as I built that business, but they were really good, solid, foundational lessons that I wouldn't swap or cut the corners of. So there you go.
That makes sense to me, Kristine. I mean, when you learnt lessons about yourself, and some of them were tough lessons, but they made you who you are today, well, I agree with you. I think it makes a lot of sense. Well done, well said, and well shared. Okay. Daniel.
Well, I resonated a lot with what you were saying, and particularly Yvonne, about, I used to be an overthinker. I used to be a perfectionist. I used to procrastinate a lot, and I've learned so much from that. So now the great thing is I'm able, when I'm working with my coaches, I'm really able to, to bring them in a certain direction, which is, for instance, live your passion. So important. Live your passion. Make sure that your vision is aligned with your values, with really what you want to do. Have fun. Take action. Perfection doesn't exist. Trust the process. and have faith in yourself.
That's the
Thank you.
process. That's the
Nice.
process that I was talking about, basically. Yeah.
Good. Daniel, I love the idea of having fun.
Mm.
But when you watch the replay, as you said the words having fun, you had a scowl on your face.
Did I?
So I got
No.
a mixed message.
Oh, I don't know, because I'm having fun. You know what? No. So
I'm being a bit cheeky too, but well
Okay.
done. I agree with you. Well done and well shared.
See,
Okay.
life is so short that we've got to enjoy it. You know, if we don't have fun, why do we do that?
Absolutely. And Daniel, when you get to 70, that becomes even more important. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
Thank
looking
you.
at you, Chris. All right. Thank you very much indeed, Daniel. Well done. Well done indeed. Vangelis, what would you change if you started today, if anything? And if so, why?
I really enjoy what everyone has said because it's like a piece of everything. It's almost like there's a ride in Disneyland called Space Mountain in California. It's a roller coaster, but it's in the dark. So you have an idea of what you think might be coming your way, but not quite sure because you can't see it, and a lot of twists and turns. I took some notes from everybody because as everyone was speaking, I said, "Yeah, that's me too." All the things that I experienced, it was good for me to experience it because what I would do a little bit different is I would relax more, because part of the adventure of life is not knowing what's coming. Because if you knew everything that was going to happen, there would to me be no fun. You I already know that. And I like I thought that I had to have a lot of help from a lot of people, but what ended up happening is I had to learn all this stuff by myself. And it was because the way that my journey works is I'm supposed to go through things, not have someone do it for me. And every time I went after those shiny objects, it was me wanting someone else to do something. And many times it forced or motivated me to learn that because that's what I was supposed to do. And yeah, do I want things to be really done really well? That perfectionist part, and I realized there's a lot of people out there that they're just doing stuff, and I realized, okay, I just need to relax more. And it's okay that I have to learn things to do a lot of stuff for myself, because that's also part of me being able to identify with where people are, because I now have a rich variety of skill, you can call it, experience that I have now come through. So it's also great to see that everyone also did very similar things. And I think that's why we probably are together, because we are so familiar with things that we're all doing. So I would just relax more and just realize that that's part of my journey, and go through that roller coaster ride, and just realize, okay. And then after I went through it, now I know what's going to happen, even though I don't see it, because I went through it. Yeah.
Love that. Relax more. What a great message. And I've actually been in Space Mountain, and what a great way of doing it. That's a very good way of expressing. Well done. I can just picture it, because it is black and you never know what's coming around the corner. That's true. That is true. Brian, you've got your hand up.
Thanks, Peter. I wanted to chime back in. In my work, my clients that are over 40, particularly 40 and 50, they've done a lot of things that they feel like wasted their time, energy, and money. And a lot of the titles they call them things was, I wasted so many years chasing shiny objects. I've spent thousands of dollars chasing shiny objects. And even in my coaching, I help them to save money by stopping them from chasing shiny objects because my stuff is going to be effective. However, I know I too, the reason why I didn't raise my hand when you asked the question, because I was typing, I too have spent thousands and thousands of dollars going to workshops that were not that good, reading books that were dreadful, some things that were simply unworkable today. But I want to ask you guys to give yourself some grace. All of that stuff mattered. I am of the opinion not one single dollar you spent in improving will be wasted. None of that stuff, even the stuff that wasn't as good, will eventually bear fruit because now you recognize what's good and bad. So I want us to forgive ourselves, give ourselves some grace for chasing that stuff. Don't be guilty for it. It was a part of your journey and a part of your process. Although it's clear some of the things I invested money in were simply not good, okay, were bad even, but I know it was bad because I can compare it to something that was good. That's what I wanted to add.
Brian, well said. You just removed the guilt burden off me. So thank you. Well done. Well done indeed. Kristine, I know you've got your hand up, but just for a moment. Okay, look, I'll go to you, but be quick if you can, because there's other people have.
Yeah, I just want to be quick. Basically, I agree with what Brian just said, because it's about, it was right at the moment, and if it was a mistake, it doesn't matter. What did you learn from that? Something positive came from it. No regrets. No regrets. Learn the lessons, take them with you. That's it.
Well said. Yeah, well done, Kristine, and thank you, Brian. Dr. Chris.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, profound musings from everyone thus far. I've got sort of two different approaches, practical and philosophical. I mean, like Kristine, I wouldn't change my path to where I've arrived at because it's been a very interesting journey. On a practical level, I would not have wasted money on marketing courses and programs that promised the earth but delivered only dirt. I would not find selling awkward and distasteful. I would outsource my incompetence, and I would prioritize financial viability in parallel with helping clients, which I love doing. On a philosophical level, and I say this in my presentations, over my long and checkered career, I've discovered a couple of things. One is that life is not linear. The second is that everything ultimately is connected. And the third is that no experience is ever wasted. Everything you do informs everything else that you do. Everything you do adds quality, depth, richness, and texture to everything that you do. And everything that you do teaches you something, and everything you learn is useful, not just for yourself, but for other people that you might teach, coach, or mentor as well. No experience is ever wasted. Thank you.
Wow, that is very insightful. Thank you very much, Chris. Well done. Can I ask you something without notice?
Yeah.
Would you be willing in one of our sessions just to spend 5 minutes and use your mime skills, right, to send us some messages and see if we can work out what you're doing?
I don't do charades, Peter.
Well, let's you and I talk about that, because I think there's something we can do. And we can, because I think you've got an incredible. I didn't mean the charade type thing, but sorry about that. But I think there's a miming thing you could do that could teach us some good lessons. That's what I'm trying to get at in terms of the way you communicate with people.
Thank you. I'm happy to share some skills that might be useful in terms of body language and stuff, whether that's live or on camera. But yeah, happy to do that. Thank you.
I didn't mean the charade game at home. No,
oh,
sorry.
Good.
You're a doctor, for goodness sake. You're not a kid.
I'm a bloody doctor. My wife hates me saying, "Trust me, I'm a doctor."
Thank you. Okay. Cheers. Brenda, nice to see you. I know you're a little bit late. Do you want to spend a minute just talking about what you do and then share about what you would change if you started again today?
Thank you so much, Peter. I'm Brenda Marie Sheldrick. I'm in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, and I'm the Biz Leads expert at Biz Leads Expert. I teach busy entrepreneurs how to generate more qualified leads for their business through relationship building. I have 3 levels of work with me. You can take courses, you can join my community, or you can work with me one-to-one for coaching. and it's all around relationship building. Right now, I'm focusing on a course that turns your LinkedIn into a lead generating machine through referrals and warm introductions, because the wonderful people in this room helped me to learn that the best way to get new clients and the best way to help people is through referrals and introductions.
Thank you,
So
Brenda.
that's what I do.
Would you like to talk about the topic? What would
Well,
you
thank
change?
you. Just before I talk about what I would change, I really want to give a thank you to John D. Allen, because I quote you almost every single day. When people ask questions, I talk about falling in love with your problem. So I am so glad that you taught me that. And I think that that actually connects with what I would change. I thought I had to have the solution to everyone's problems when I first started. I thought I had to know the solutions. And I didn't trust that my experiences were what they wanted, that my experiences were what they were learning from, and most importantly, that I had to listen to them. So there's things every single person has said that I could really echo. I definitely bought all the bright, shiny objects. When my father passed away, I spent over half of my inheritance on trying to make my business work when I already had most of the answers inside and just needed to listen to them. And so I didn't trust the process. There have been a lot of times when I forgot to have fun. I loved what Daniel said, because there have been a lot of times when I forgot to have fun at what I was doing and got so serious. And Yvonne Jones, when you talked about perfect, I was like, oh my goodness, she's just mirroring my experience. She's inside my head, because there were so many things I didn't release and didn't talk about and didn't share because I thought they weren't perfect yet. The video that I didn't launch, the course that I didn't share, all those kind of things. And today I get an idea and I run with it.
Well said, Brenda. Well said. And thanks for the shout out to John. He's a good man. Well done. And by the way, I hope your husband's in better health. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bill Pickett.
Well
What would
done.
you change?
Thinking about it, we all have very similar experiences because we've all basically gone on the same journey. And online marketing is really uncharted waters in lots of ways, and it's still uncharted. We're finding our way through the vast ocean of knowledge and changing things that constantly change. And the big thing that we can sit here and say what we would have done differently. I personally probably wouldn't have would do anything that much differently other than take action faster than I did before. And because when you're traveling that uncharted area or ocean, you're trying to find your way, and you get lost in it, thinking that the solution's over here or over there, or you're trying to find something instead of going with what you already have and implementing it in a way that it can be used right now.
Well said.
Just looking for it and looking for it and looking for it, and that's why we're attracted to shiny objects and everything else. Those shiny objects look like a solution, and we grab for them because we want that solution and want to be able to implement it right away instead of stumbling around, all this time. So basically, the only thing I would probably change is faster action and making better decisions. And because Everything else is part of the journey. And that's what we learn from. It's just like a child. They have to learn to walk, and they're going to fall a million times until they master walking. And once they learn to walk, then they can run. And I think what we all try to do is start running right away. and we're not ready for it yet, you know. And but we can go with what we have and not try to be so fast at trying to do it. It's kind of contradicting what I'm saying. I said take action, but taking action doesn't necessarily mean you have to go fast. It just means you need to implement what you're doing right now instead of waiting until you have all the pieces to put it together and make it work.
Thank you, Bill. Well said. If you don't take any action, nothing happens. I agree with that. Jeffrey, what about you, my man?
Yeah, action gets traction. Mine's a bit of a different take, guys. I'll cover a couple of points. I've got a few notes here. I always think to myself, why do people go to network meetings? Do they go to buy or do they go to be sold? Yeah, that's my question. Why do they go to them? Do they go to buy or to be sold? I mean, you don't go to a network meeting to buy something, do you? But I tell you now, most of you, if you want to put your hand up and admit to it, most of you go there to sell what you do. So you're trying to, put yourself across, hey, I've got the solution to your problem, rah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so that's my take on networking. Everyone's trying to do the same thing. They're not going there to buy, they're going there to sell. Right. In my case, if I knew what I knew many years ago when I come into this, I never would have started. Right. The reason being, I've had 5 multi-million-dollar businesses. That's 5, guys. Every business I've ever had, I've been successful. Every business I've ever had, I went in like Hitler, thinking I'm going to own the world. It took me 6 months to make my first dime because I thought I knew it, but I didn't know. I had to learn from peers and books and other ways. Anyway, basically, I did all those businesses. When I got into this one, it was the one I'm the most passionate about. The rest of them were a job to make money, a way of making money, and they were great. They made me a lot of money. This one, I got into it, but who's going to retire? You're going to lay down and die. But I got into it to give myself something to do, and passionate about wanting to share all my experiences and help small, not big business, small business. I want to help small business to grow and learn all the things I learned along the way, all the mistakes I made, etc., etc. And so basically, I'm a bit sorry I started because it's so disheartening that every day I see or talk to people who won't invest in themselves. And that's pretty sad because they won't invest. Now, talking about shiny objects, guys, I looked at my bill the other day, I'm spending $2,000 on software at the moment per month, right? Stuff I think most of it I need, a couple of them I haven't even opened for about 9 months, and yet I'm still paying the subscription because I'm going to open them one day. I'm going to get around to it, and I promise I will. I just got to get around to it. It's got to be important enough for me to want to use it, right? And I'll tell you a backstory to that I'll tell you the backstory of that now. About, I don't know, I can tell you when it was actually. I've got an idea. April last year, I said to one of my guys who sits right next to me, my main man, I said, I got the shits, all these shiny objects. Put into the bloody email. I got 400,000 emails, guys, in my inbox any one time. I said, put into the inbox, put in receipts, software, etc., etc. All of a sudden, the big bloody list came up, probably 70 or 80 items, right? And one of them, here's the interesting part, guys. One of them I wasn't using. I said, learn that one for me. I can't do it. I'm too dumb. You learn that for me. He learned it, guys, and I tripled my business, hear the words, tripled my business the first month, and have continued to do so for myself and my clients with that one lousy piece of software that cost me $50 a month. Anybody want to know what it is? Of course you don't. I know you don't want to know, so I won't tell you. Reach out to me and I'll tell you. Anyway, my first book I ever bought, guys, was The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. That was the best book I've ever read. It was bloody awesome, right? And I thought, well, this is it was about mail order back in the day when mail order was a big thing. It was equal to you might say equal to an Amazon, but it was before its time. The guy that I forget his name now, the guy. It'll come to me later. But yeah, so I bought The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. Then I proceeded to buy over the next 20 years, I bought over $200,000 worth of books, and I read each and every one of them. And they're all on one subject, or pretty much a couple of subjects. They were either on sales or on marketing, sales or marketing. And most of them were quite good, you know, particularly good. The one I made the most money with was from Tom Hopkins, How to Sell Anybody Anything. Awesome book. You just get a chance, have a look at some of his YouTubes. They're fantastic. So that's my 2 bobs worth, guys. I wouldn't have started, but now I've got the challenge of turning this business around and making it the biggest of the whole lot. That's my goal and my dream, is to make it bigger than the whole other 5 put together. And now AI has come along. That is quite possible, because AI has changed the game. You guys don't know what you're missing. I'll give you a quick one tonight. I did it deliberately. If you go to my Facebook page, I took a photo of my dinner. Then I asked Facebook, tell me the health benefits of this dinner. And it broke it all down for me. Told me what it was, what each vegetable was, what the good thing about that veggie was, what was the bad thing about, I've used some butter, what was the bad thing about the butter. It's bloody, AI is awesome, guys. So if you're not using AI, you're back in the horse and buggy days, you're going to get left behind. You've got to get up to speed with AI, guys, in a big way. So that's my lesson today, guys. Thanks very much for the opportunity, Peter.
Thank you, Jeff. Did I mishear you? Did you say you had 400,000 emails?
I think 440 when I looked this morning.
Like, how do you handle all that?
I think 369 of them are 369,000 or something like that are unopened. But you can read them. And why I just cop them, because a lot of them, I'm a marketer. A lot of them are on marketing, and there's certain people I like, and I'll just come in. It might be Bill Pickett, and it might be from Bill, and I'll look at the subject line. Oh yeah, that's interesting. I'll look at that later, and later may never come. But if I want to know something, I'll go back to it. So it's just my. I'm different, guys. It's my way of doing things, and it works for me.
You're just like me. My one email account has literally 1 million emails in it. And I have 10 email accounts. So
yeah, but if you unsubscribe from Peter Beckenham, you think, oh, I've had enough of Peter, unsubscribe. Well, I won't get the good stuff. So
right.
I stay in the game.
It's a trove of information too. I use them for ideas for emails and everything else. I go in and look at their copy and say, hey, that's a great idea.
Improve that. Correct.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Bill. Before we get to you, Daniel, and Annika, I know you've got your hands up very quickly, but John, you haven't had a chance to say anything yet. So please share your wisdom.
Just been sitting back listening, and I was thinking to a term we used to use in construction, and I fit it very nicely. I was a cross between a whore and a computer. I thought I knew it all. And by that, I meant when I started into the coaching business and what have you, and even when I was in construction, I thought I knew it all. And I thought people had to come to me. I didn't have to go to them. I was this great, grand, and wonderful beacon, and everybody would just be drawn to me. Really burst my bubble when nobody gave a damn, you know, and that was a major shock and a blow to my ego that I wasn't as great, grand, and wonderful as I thought I was. You know, I was a legend in my own mind, and that's as far as I was a legend. And when I learned, especially later on, when I learned to fall in love with your prospect's problem, not your solution or program, that made all the difference in the world. Because you've heard me say over and over again, they don't give a damn about our solution or program. What they want to know is, can you solve my problem? And one of the biggest things I had to learn before that even sunk in was I had to learn how to listen. You know, everybody says you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. For years, I must have had 3 mouths because I didn't listen. I just kept yapping. And so when you learn to listen to what people are really saying, then you can decide if you can help them or not. So the biggest thing that I would learn is learn how to listen. If I'd have learned that years ago, it would have shortened this incredible journey I've been on. Like I say, be hundreds of thousands of dollars in courses and material. But again, it was all necessary to get me to where I am. That is the biggest thing that I learned from it. But again, take time to learn how to listen. And Peter just put out a great poster yesterday about silence. Learn how to use silence. You don't have to speak because there's 2 seconds of silence. Silence is a very powerful tool. Learn how to use it. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, John. I must admit, I can remember when we first connected with each other. I don't know when it was, a few years ago, right? You and I were on different planets. And I just want to give you a shout out. It's been an incredible experience to have you come into my life, John D. Allen. So thank you very much indeed. And it's been a pleasure to work with you as well. Okay. So
that was October 2019.
Okay. It's only 6 years ago. I thought it seems like 50 years ago. Well done. Thank you, John. Daniel.
Yeah, I would like to emphasize one point, which is really the power of connections. I mean, now we are in a world where we can connect with everyone, like here in this group, everyone around the world. So one thing I would definitely, do now, I mean, and advise others, to do is really connect with like-minded people. Connect with people who are able to support you. Because we cannot do things just on our own, just by sharing, like this wonderful community. And Peter, thank you very much for having all of us there. This is wonderful. We learn from each other. So I think we need to reinvent ourselves, always learn new things, meet new people, and then and of course, share and learn from others.
Well said, Daniel. Well said. Sharing and caring, that's what it's all about. Thank you. Annika, finish up with you.
Just would like to conclude that everyone's been talking about the journeys that are learning journeys, where we go this way and that way, and we sometimes don't have a plan, and we end up. And if I hadn't gone the route that I have gone, that it hasn't always been the best one, but I wouldn't be here and meeting all of you if I hadn't done that, because I would have ended up somewhere else. So that's my conclusion. You get what you get, kind of, by going the way you're going.
What I like about you, Annika, you keep things darn simple. I can understand you. So thank you. And what a really good way to conclude. So anyone else got a final thought they want to share? Because time's up. If not, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for your contributions, for your caring and your sharing. And I'll catch up to you same time next week, okay? All the best. Bye-bye.